Lux or a... It's going to be a Braum. This is a very, very
again.
strong anti-engage comp into this, you know, the Azir, the Cassandre, the Ornn and the Braum, it's going to be basically impossible to get onto this Ezreal for anyone. But I think...
And with Shaco and Akshan both running
Yeah.
interference as well, Aphelios and Azir are going to have to find some creative angles here, which could be opened up by the Cassandre and the Azir ult, to be honest.
The replay will like pause itself, like it'll just freeze for a few seconds to let the spectator delay catch up.
Right.
But anyway, I don't know if we're going to be seeing anything level 1. They might be they are going to look for the invade. Nothing in that bush for them, unfortunately. It's going to be a 5-stack on top side. I think trying to protect that Shaco's setup at the start of the game, maybe. A little bit of concern that they might be on the red buff, but completely fine. I think typically Connor will probably be looking to path from top to bot, considering he has, you know, Momo, Deviluke and Granny Spanner are two of the big names in this team. And typically, you know, the Cassandre can get on fine and is fine on his own in top lane, so...
I'm going to expect an early gank from Brandavar mid. An early kill on the Akshan here, especially on Oswald, will be a great start to the game for GGL if they can pull it off.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, no, it's the Azir obviously, I think in most lanes I imagine should have push. But obviously the Shaco is a very typical, you know, you can leave your boxes on the red buff, let them almost just take it for you and then run off and do your other camps, and you can be level 2 or 3 before the enemy jungler has finished like even 2 of their camps, so. As far as the top lane matchup goes, it's been a little while since I played Ornn, so I don't know how he fares into Cassandre, but I can't imagine it's too difficult considering the way Ornn tends to play into tanks and the way he can avoid all of Cassandre's CC and displacement abilities. So it's actually going to be an early invade from Brandavar. He's going to go straight onto this Karthus blue buff, and Karthus without blue buff is it's a struggle. He's going to go ahead and clear his wolves. Shaco is sitting there waiting for him. He's going to just go ahead and take this blue buff.
Karthus is coming in the last second here. Is he going to try and smite it away, or?
There's going to be a little fight happening in the topside river. I don't know if he got away with the buff. He did. He got the blue. So this is a Karthus without a blue buff.
That's going to be very crippling going forward.
Yeah. So it's a big advantage already. One more Deviluke gonna land a hook onto the Braum, but a shield is enough to basically negate any damage Aphelios might have. And before he hits those Berserker's Greaves, his damage is very, very low in these early levels.
Karthus coming back onto the map with nothing but a Dark Seal. That is confidence.
He had to get that early back in. You know, once all his camps are gone, after he didn't even get to take his own buff, he has to go back and do something, considering both of these lanes are not particularly gankable. But Shadeless struggling a little bit into Jamie's Ornn already. You know, the damage from this champ can be absolutely ridiculous at every point in the game. Ornn just one of those champs that is just allowed to be overstatted in every category, and Riot will just not bat an eye towards it. But some aggressive plays here from the GGL bot lane, and the Flay's going to come back. He's going to have to flash away, and Karthus is here, and this Ezreal manages to cleanse to get away just in time. But the Aphelios getting so low, the Thresh picks up the kill onto the Ezreal first, but it's a 1-for-1 right now, and Braum's going to have to flash away here. Gardevoir sitting on 1 HP on this Karthus. He's going to try to get the pick, and he does in the end, and Gardevoir picks up a double kill. But Karthus is going to fall in the end for another kill for him. And still, this Thresh is alive, and Duke of Jamming is going to clean up this fight in the end. And it's a 4-for-2 in favour of Stellaron. All that gold going on to the Azir and Karthus. It's a big advantage early. It looked so good for GGEL for a minute, but quickly turned into an absolute disaster. No TPs or anything used. Oswald was there early. just a bit of an early advantage in the mid and jungle for Stellaron here.
Especially with Azir and Karthus with that Dark Seal looking a little bit scary now. The game plan of Shaco and Akshan.
Oh, he died. But yeah, he died so early in that fight, so he got all the. He got 2 kills and an assist on the Dark Seal. Oh no. But yeah, it is going to be AD Shaco in the end, and this Cassante scales very, very well with armor. So, and the Thresh as well, with his own infinitely scaling armor on his passive. I think it might be a bit of a struggle to deal with that late game, especially with this card that's already accelerating his scaling. And Momo Devilip with the hook is going to get the Scuttle Crab. Brandavar. Nice maneuver around that Karthus wall. You can take Outlaw out of jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of Outlaw. Securing the scuttle is the most important thing, and Westy getting very, very close and personal with Granny Spanner.
Yeah, looks like unfortunately the tower aggro went onto the Ezreal there, so he had to blink out and there was no angle for that fight.
Outlaw returning to bot lane. Getting a lot of poke damage, excuse me, onto the Braum there. Well, Braum typically does well into these melee engagements. I mean, I suppose Thresh does count as range, but he plays more like a melee. A little bit of downtime across the map. This Brandavar might look for something. Runs down here. Stellaron don't have any vision of that brush. They're going to try and bait them to walk forward a little bit here. This wave is slow pushing, but I think they sense that something may be afoot up there. A lot of time being invested into this play from GGEL. I'm so invested into if this is going to work or not. And he's just going to walk away. He's going to leave it. That's about 20-30 seconds maybe wasted there. Wesley jumping forward aggressively, but still going on down there. Brandavar is still waiting for this. Karthus is farming away. The gank is going to come in the end, but nothing going to come of it. It's a big stacked wave in top lane. I think it's around now that the matchup start might get a little bit more Cassante favored as he starts to build up his damage. Brandavar going to start the Drake. I think this Akshan is really going to start struggling into the Azir now with a huge item advantage on him. Not going to be able to look for a recall timing.
I think I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what went on there.
It's all good. But Outlaw finds himself in a little bit of trouble. I might have been muted on Discord there, sorry.
Hey, sorry about that.
Nah, you're good, you're good. And it's a free pick onto Outlaw. The kill gold going over to Lewisoi. And there's the weird interaction actually with the Braum and the Karthus is that this happens with Pantheon as well. If you shield in Karthus' direction while he ults, it will block the damage. So if you have an idea of where he is, you can just completely negate it. It's really, really weird. But yeah, as I said, it's Duke Johnny. It's gonna start getting a lot easier with a big item advantage. Brandavar soloing that Drake. So even if his team is behind in gold a little bit, those early dragons are already gonna build up an advantage. But the counterplay on the top side is that Brandavar is gonna take over this Herald, and there's a lot of gold on that Karthus. The richest player in the game by far. And I think Wesley almost found himself in a little bit of trouble there. Sorry, I completely zoned out for a second. Does have to use the flash of his own to get away. Top lane going as you'd expect top lane. Jamie opting for the Radiant Virtue in this game. I'm personally quite a big Radiant Virtue hater on Ornn. I think Jack Show is so much better. But
I have to agree.
Yeah,
on that one.
I think maybe as a cheaper option, but especially when you're ahead, like you do have this 15 CS lead on the Cassante, and Tom, he's just going to jump straight back in. He's really not taking damage here. Granny Spanner does have that red and white guns available, and Gardevoir is here as well, and this is a lot of trouble here for GGEL. Westy's going to fall, but I don't think he's going to be the only victim, and that is a very dead Ezreal. Kills onto both that Aphelios and Karthus, and this game starting to take more steps away from GGEL. Oswald's going to swing in here. He's not going to get anything out of this, but still looking for the dive. Brandivar is here, and this is a very dead bird. And he's going to use that clone to negate the tower damage as well. Really, really nice play from the mid jungle of GGEL. But that Herald in response is going to be put down into the bot lane. And that is a lot of gold being funneled into this Aphelios. Outlaw almost losing his life to that stray Ezreal ult, but Brandivar is going to come down here. Doesn't actually have vision of them in that brush, but I think he knows they're there. He's going to queue in, but too little too late. He's very, very far behind this Karthus now. Sitting on about 5k gold. No one else in the lobby has hit even 4k yet. Really, really big lead for Gardevoir on this Karthus. This champ has been a menace in UNL so far this season. And Oswald sitting in wait for his jungler to join him here. And he's going to swing straight in. Does get a zero ulted over that wall. And he's going to dash straight on top of him. Really, really well played from Duke Jamming. The Karthus ult is what's going to finish him off in the end, but got away from that assault. Maybe Oswald needed to wait a little bit longer for Brandivar to get there to help him, but overestimating his damage a little bit potentially.
Big trades from the Ornn there, the percentage health damage just doing so much against the Cassante.
Yeah, the Braille proc really does do so much. Ten Dark Seal stacks as well onto this Karthus. It's 2 Leandries for the Leandries completed for both the mid and jungle. And Ornn, you know, he's doing his thing. He's going 0-0-0. He's playing the way you usually want your Ornn to play, but when your whole team is already this far behind, yeah, it looks rough at the moment. They do have this small dragon advantage. You have to count your blessings as much as you can, but I think this Karthus is really going to start getting out of control soon, though. Speak of the devil appearing in bot lane, I don't know if GGL would have any interest in looking for a 2v2 here, but he's just going to take that ward and go home.
I have seen crazier plays from them, I will admit.
Yeah. Next strike coming up in about 55 seconds. And you have pretty much everything available for all ults available for both teams except for that that Requiem. You know, the Cassante, I think, maybe could start looking for potential kill pressure on the Ornn if he can soon, but I think as long as his team is winning as hard as they are, he can just sit tight and let him do his thing up there. Lucky not to cancel the back for Oswald. But Brandivar immediately looking towards the strike. Despite how far behind his bot lane mid and jungle are all behind, he's not shying away from these objective fights. This is where the Ornn's damage is really starting to stack up. I think typically you'd probably want the Sunfire Aegis into the Cassante first anyway, and you could, you know, it's a lot better wave clear and a lot easier to deal with, you know, because it doesn't really do any magic damage anyway. But I think the message for Jamie going into this is probably just to play for his team as much as he can. But a lot of river control here for Stellaron. The TP was going to come down, but it was actually cancelled. It was cancelled by the Cassante ult.
That is definitely a winning fight down there for Stella now.
Yeah. I think they definitely want to contest that, but you can't back in front of that Cassante. It's just going to be one more Q, and that is a very dead Shaco. The dragon and a kill. Connor, unstoppable in this game already.
4k gold lead on the side of Stellaron now.
Oh my god. of 14 minutes. And this zero damage is really starting to become a problem. 10 Dark Seal stacks still. Poor Gardevoir. I don't see a way you can kill him at this point. He's accelerated so much. He's 2 levels ahead of Brandivar. Starting to get completely out of control.
The Ezreal has been farming up very nicely though in the bot side there.
Does have a lead of his own, I think. Yeah, pretty much staying just about even with his Aphelios. I think once he gets that Manamune with the Triforce as well, might make this Karthus life a lot more difficult. He has actually opted for the Medjais instead. And now I'm looking for the hook there, but this Akshan just does not deal any damage. Duke jamming, almost getting caught out, but they're gonna get this Herald. 3rd objective of the game for them. I think this Karthus, he's kind of out of this early game problem, but the Ornal is going to come in here. Gardevoir looking, they're gonna all jump straight onto him. Brandivar over the wall with that Q, and the Ornal is diving in all on his own. This fight is completely disjointed from GGEL. Brandivar is going to die completely alone. The kill is going to be returned in the end, but that is a big Requiem. This fight still could look good for GGEL. There's a lot of damage coming out, but they just can't get into this fight. Jamie is going to fall next as Cassante still has so much HP. Akshan sitting on the back of this fight as well, and the all-out is finally going to come out. And it's a clean sweep of this fight, bar the Ezreal, for Stellaron. The gold lead accelerates to nearly 7,000. 20 stacks on that Medjai Soul Stealer. Gardevoir not falling. Both ADCs sitting pretty in bot lane, and it's another big fight win for Stellaron. This game very sitting on the tipping point of being unsavable for GGEL after only 17 minutes.
I think it was an honourable engage there. I think they were trying to look for something to get back into this game, to try and claw back any kind of gold that they can.
Yeah, you see that 700 gold shut down, you see the 10 Medjai stacks, and you just think, go.
And even with the potential of them losing the fight, but Akshan's still picking up a kill here and there, the resurrections on that could mean a potential play after the fact.
Yeah.
But it just was not enough, unfortunately.
This Cassante now gonna make this one's life a lot more difficult. Once he's gonna get the Frozen Heart, he's probably gonna go straight into like a Randuin's or something. And he's gonna be absolutely unkillable. There's just no magic damage for GGL.
Looks like they're desperately trying to get some picks on the Aphelios there, but oh, I think he might be muted again.
I am indeed. Apologies. Yeah, it's 3 items on the Karthus already. The Cassante starting to stack up. Azir is almost hitting 2 items. It's just leads and leads across the board. All you have is this Ezreal, and even the Ezreal is starting to fall a little further behind. Does have to use that cleanse to get away from the death sentence.
Crucial summoner spell for any team fight coming up, as Ezreal looks like he's going to be the main carry here for these team fights, and without cleanse, I'm sure that Stellaron are looking to engage.
Yeah, it's. I think the thing with the, I'm going to have to pause on that point for a second. Brandivar gets caught up by that. That's so much damage from one Q from the Karthus. 4 more stacks to bring himself up to 24, and the Requiem, it's not going to be enough to quite finish off that Ezreal. Sitting on about 400 HP in the end there, but this Dragon already uncontestable. The Herald's going to come out, the flash forward from Outlaw, and that is a very, very dead, not very dead Braum. I stand completely corrected. The flash W is enough to get away.
Coming out as well there.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough to potentially look for a take on this Dragon, but the real issue they're having is just the Akshan has to commit to these fights, and when he's so far behind, he's just not dealing any damage. There's just more and more advantages across the board. Taking a look at the goal difference. Got about 1k in top, nearly 4k, over 4k, about 4.3k gold lead in jungle, 1.5 in mid, about nearly just under 1k in bot, and about 1.7k in support. It's a collective almost 10k gold lead at 20 minutes. It would take a proper throw to lose this game from here.
Mm-hmm. Stellaron kind of building up that defensive vision around Baron.
This Orin, he's just a level down now as well. He's not really able to do anything. Brandavar is finding himself caught out in his own jungle again. The Ornal's going to come out. It's a big stopwatch from Gardevoir, but I think he might fall here. That Requiem's still available. Ezreal has to get out of this fight completely because he's just taking too much damage. Gardevoir is somehow still alive, and the Requiem's going to be enough to finish off Westy. It's a triple kill for Gardevoir. I didn't even see the Shaco on the backside of that fight. And it's... Oh, and the Ezreal just about getting away on that HP as well. And they're going to turn their sights straight towards Baron. The gold lead, 11k. I think this is probably the biggest stomp we've had this season so far, unless GGL somehow find a way to turn this around. Like, they're already getting outscaled even before you think about how far ahead they are, or how far behind they are, excuse me.
For a second there, it did look like they might take Karthus down, but it just looked like there was too much in the front of Ezreal to be able to actually
it wasn't able to get him with his own damage. It was just the Orin sitting on him alone. And while this Orin does have crazy damage, he's just too far behind at this point.
Just tanking a tower shot for good luck there on top.
Yeah, he is going to be able to take this tower here. Another 300 gold going over to this Cassante.
Taking more and more.
And Brandavar finds himself inside the enemy jungle from this far behind. It's another, it's another 300 gold going over to this Karthus. He's working his way up to that 4th item, that Rabadon set cap, where he'll really just be an absolute terror.
I mean, Shaka coming out there, Brandavar embodying the strategic decision that if you don't know what you're doing, how will the enemy?
Exactly. It's completely foolproof. It's such a bad decision that they won't expect it, so it's completely fine. But, you know, he looked good early on in this game, and I'm going to have to hold this point for a second because Westy has found himself caught out again. The cage, the slow, it's going to be too much. I think Lewis really isn't going to feel hard done by this game. That is a ridiculous damage on the Karthus, so I really do feel for him in this game. The Death Sentence not going to be able to quite land, but that is a level 11 Shaco, and it's going to die with about 40% of his HP dealt with one Karthus Q. And I think it's a story of a real good old-fashioned jungle diff. Gardevoir playing absolutely out of his mind in this game.
13 kills. Medjai's, I can believe, has been stacked probably for the best part of 5 to 10 minutes now.
And the Death Sentence, it's going to catch out the Braum again, excuse me. He's going to fall. It's a big Shuriman shuffle. They're all just going to die. It's an absolute massacre. Nearly a 20k gold difference. 24 kills to 6. Ending at 25 minutes. A big shutdown picked up for Juicy Boy Jamie. But the grand scheme
Juicy
of
Boy
things,
Jamie trying to do whatever he can at the end there. But it did not look like it was busting.
And Stellaron jump
There we
to,
go.
I think they're 3-1 now, if I remember correctly.